So in our previous period, we were discussing the third lesson in history, no, the impact of British rule in India. Okay, it is our lesson, and already we have discussed about civil service or civil system. Then we have also discussed about judicial system, police system, and military system. In all these four fields, what changes were introduced by what changes were introduced by British East India Company and our lesson is impact of British rule on India. Today we are going to discuss about the land tax system or land tax policies introduced by the British government. So actually, according to the reduced syllabus, this topic is not there according to the reduced syllabus, but don't know. It is not confirmed yet. I am going to discuss about this topic. I thought that this topic is quite important. Whatever we have discussed so far, my children, compared to that, whatever topic we are discussing today, that topic is more important. So, if you consider the exams which you may have to face in your future, so that is why we have not got the reduced syllabus yet. It is whether it is confirmed or not, that is not known. So, in brief, we will discuss about these land tax policies. So, they think that as you have studied these things in your 7th standard, it need not be taught again. But how many of you remember about land tax policies? Raise your hands and tell me. How many of you remember land tax policies? Akshay, do you remember anything?
Yeah, I remember only Zamindari system.
Akshay remembers Zamindari system. Shreya Hegde, what do you remember?
Mataji, Rohitwari system.
You remember Rohitwari system. Then, do you know what is that Rohitwari system?
Mataji, don't just remember name.
Yes, you remember that name. Okay, very nice. Is there anyone else who remembers something? Okay. So we'll discuss in brief, children. Even we will not go in very detail, but we will have a short discussion about this land tax policies introduced by British. Okay. So what happened? The English East India Company had to pay a large amount of money, some 4 lakh pounds. Okay, it had to pay it to the British Parliament to retain its power over Bengal province. So this Bengal province, it was very rich region. It had got very fertile land, agricultural production, industrial production, everything it was good there. So British East India Company at any cost wanted to retain its control over this Bengal province. But to get its license renewed, English government, British Parliament wanted British East India Company to pay some 4 lakh pounds. So that is why English East India Company, to manage its financial situation, it brought the changes in the land tax policy and it tried to collect more amount from the Indian farmers. It introduced 3 types of land tax policy. First one is permanent zamindari system. Second one is Royatwari system and third one is Mahalwari system. Okay. So you can see here 3 types of land tax policies introduced by the British government. The British East India Company. Okay. So first one is permanent zamindari system. It is also known as permanent settlement system. Second one is Mahalwari. Here I have written Mahalwari. And third one is Royatwari system. Okay. Yes. Now let us know something about the permanent settlement system or permanent zamindari system. So this system was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in the year 1793 in Bengal province. So this Bengal province, it constituted three main regions: West Bengal region and today's Bangladesh region, then Bihar, Orissa. So these three regions, Bihar, Orissa and Bengal, these three regions, they constituted Bengal province. Then with that, Andhra Pradesh and Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi, they were also the places where Lord Cornwallis introduced this permanent zamindari system or permanent settlement system. So here, zamindars were declared as the owners of the land. During Mughal period, there were officers called zamindars. So they had to collect the land revenue in that particular region. So particular area would have been allotted to them and they had to collect the land revenue there. So when British East India Company took over the administration, no, what it do? It declared these zamindars as the owners of the land. Then a particular amount of money was fixed as land tax, and that zamindars, they had to pay that fixed amount every year to the East India Company. If they could not pay the fixed amount to the East India Company, then they would lose their ownership over the land. But they had got one profit. These zamindars, they could collect more amount also. Okay. So after paying the fixed amount to the East India Company, whatever more amount, whatever excess amount they had collected, no, that they could retain for themselves. So in this way, British East India Company levied heavy tax. Then the zamindars, they collected it and they paid it to the East India Company and they collected more tax and they also became rich. See, these zamindars, they acted as the middlemen between the East India Company and the farmers. So this was beneficial to whom? This was beneficial to the East India Company because already it was collecting heavy tax, and also it was beneficial to the zamindars because they collected more amount from the farmers and laborers, and more amount, excess amount which they have collected, no, that they retained for themselves. So that is why these farmers, they had to take loan from the money lenders to pay the tax. Otherwise, zamindars used to punish them, zamindars used to exploit them very much. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದು ಜಾಬ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿನ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ, tertiary sector was also not developed. So that is why Indians were dependent on agriculture, and for their livelihood they had to depend upon agriculture, and at any cost they had to pay the tax. So that is why these farmers who took loan from money lenders, no, so they lived their lives in sala, in loans, in debts. That is why one of the British officers, okay, Charles Metcalfe, his name is, he declared that the Indians during that time, the Indians who went through this permanent zamindari system, those farmers, they took birth in debt, they lived in debt, and also they died in debt. So here, the main feature of permanent settlement system or permanent zamindari system is zamindars were declared as the owners of the land. They acted as the middlemen between the farmers and the East India Company, and zamindars had to pay fixed amount of tax every year to the East India Company. If they could not collect and if they could not pay, those zamindars would lose their ownership over the land. Okay. Then these zamindars, what did they do? They collected more amount from the farmers and excess amount they retained it for themselves. So that is why this became beneficial to whom? The East India Company and zamindars. So this is called what, children? Permanent settlement system, and it was introduced by Akshay, whom?
Lord Cornwallis.
Exactly, it was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. So I'll share the page for you once you go through all the points. Yes, once you go through all the points, features you should know, children, because concentrate on features. You may have to write the difference between permanent settlement system and Rayatwari system. That is why it is very important to know the features of this permanent settlement system. Stop. Okay. Did you understand? Yes. Tell me, Pannaga. Pannaga, what is the main feature? Then Nikhil Naregade. Nikhil? Yes, what is the main feature of permanent settlement system?
Zamindars were the owners of the land.
Exactly. Then?
Mataji,
Yes, next.
they had to pay fixed land tax to the company every year.
Then, otherwise, if they couldn't pay?
They could collect more tax from the farmers.
Yeah. Then?
Mataji,
Then?
if they did not pay the fixed land tax, they had to lose the ownership of the land.
Yeah. These are the main features of this permanent settlement system. Thank you, Nikhil. Nitin. 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 Nitin Shetty. Who introduced permanent system, permanent zamindari system? Nitin?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, who introduced permanent zamindari system?
Lord Cornwallis.
Exactly, it was Lord Cornwallis. Now let us move on for the next topic, that is Rayatwari system. Okay, so this Rayatwari system, it was introduced in South Indian region, that is in Madras Presidency and Mysore. In Madras, Mysore, and in Tamil Nadu only there is another place called Baramahal. Today also it is there. So in these three regions, Baramahal region, Madras and Mysore region, this system was introduced. And this was introduced by Alexander Reed. Okay. Then what are the main features of Rayatwari system? Here, the difference between permanent settlement system and Rayatwari system you have to observe, children. In the permanent settlement system, zamindars were declared as the owners of the land and they acted as the link between whom? The farmers and the East India Company. But in Rayatwari system, the difference here is, here the farmers were declared as the owners of the land. Okay. So the main feature of Rayatwari system is farmers were declared as the owners of the land. So there was a direct link between the farmers and the East India Company. There were no middlemen as such. Okay. Then farmers had to pay 50% of their produce, whatever they grown. So it's 50% should be paid as land tax by the farmers. And this 50% of tax, it was fixed, no, it was fixed for the tenure of 30 years. So after the completion of 30 years only, the British East India Company used to review, ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ this East India Company had fixed the time tenure, it was 30 years. Okay, so farmers had to pay 50% of their produce as the tax, and the time of the tenure was 30 years. So they were the owners. So even though it seemed somewhat nice, here farmers were declared as the owners, no, but it was not so good because 50% of tax, it was very heavy for the farmers, and these farmers, if they could not pay 50% of their produce as the tax, no, then they also had to lose the ownership of their land. So that is why to retain the ownership over the land, these farmers used to take again loan from the money lenders. Again, they also have to take birth in debt, then live in debt, and also they have to die in loan, that is debt. Okay, that is why even though this Rayatwari system seemed to be good, it was not good. The farmers, they suffered here, the laborers, they suffered here. So this is Rayatwari system. Let me repeat. Here it was introduced by Alexander Reed in Madras, Mysore and Baramahal region. Main feature here is the farmers were the owners and there was no middlemen between them. There was direct link. The amount of tax to be paid by them was, what was that amount, Vidya?
50%.
Exactly, it was 50%. Then Siri, what was the tenure of land tax? Siri?
30 years.
Exactly, it was 30 years. So if the farmers could not pay the fixed amount or fixed land tax to the government or to the East India Company, what did they lose? What did they lose? Anish? Ashwit? What the farmers would lose if they couldn't pay the tax?
Their lands.
Yeah, they would lose their ownership over the land. Okay, this is called what, children? Rayatwari system. Again, I'll share the page for you once you go through it. Okay, so already we have discussed about two types of land tax policies. First one is permanent zamindari system introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Next one is this one, Rayatwari system. Now here the third one is Mahalwari system. Okay, so actually Mahal means a taluk. So for every taluk there used to be a person, an officer called Mahaldar to collect the tax. So here the under this Mahaldar there were many zamindars. Means zamindars had to collect the tax and they had to give it to Mahaldar, and Mahaldar had to repay it to whom? The East India Company or the government which was there earlier, maybe the Mughals. Okay. So here Mahalwari system, under Mahalwari system, this East India Company made agreement at the level of Mahals. Okay, at the level of Mahals, the East India Company made agreement, and under every Mahaldar there were many Zamindars. So this system was introduced by R.M. Beard and J.S. Thompson. These two people introduced this Mahalwari system, and this system differed from region to region. So it was again introduced in this Andhra Pradesh region, Madhya Pradesh, then Punjab region, Uttar Pradesh region, parts of Madhya Pradesh, then Punjab, then Delhi, and in Uttar Pradesh region. In these regions, Mahalwari system was introduced. Again here, if any Mahaldar could not collect the tax and could not pay it to East India Company, he had to lose his post. Okay, so that is why Mahaldar exploited the Zamindars. Zamindars in turn exploited the farmers. So the marginal or the small farmers and the laborers suffered here the most. So these were the three types of systems. What is the meaning of Mahal? Mahesh? Rajesh. Sorry, Rajesh. What is the meaning of Mahal? Mahesh? Yes, Mahesh? What is the meaning of Mahal? Mahal means? Just now I have told, no? What is the meaning of Mahal? You didn't hear? Anurag? Anurag? What is a Mahal? Anurag, can you answer me?
Taluk ma'am.
Mahal means what? Taluk. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Once you go through all the points. Okay. Now, what may be the impacts or what may be the results of these three kinds of land tax policies? Can anybody guess and answer me? Rashmi, what do you think?
Farmers were subjected to exploitation.
Exactly. Farmers were subjected to exploitation. That is correct. Then anybody else? Rashmi, can you add any other point? Farmers were exploited. Exactly. Then
And then money lenders became profit. They get profit.
money lenders got profit. Right. Yes. Then any other thing that can you add here?
Actually, no.
That's okay. Thank you, Marie. Shantika? Shantika? Yes. Can you add any point?
Some zamindars lost their ownership over the land.
Many landlords or many zamindars lost their ownership over the land. Farmers lost their ownership over the land. That is correct. Yes. Then Soumya Hegde?
British East India Company became rich.
Exactly. British East India Company became rich. That is right. Then Shreya Hegde?
Mataji, Mataji, the zamindars got profit and the money lenders also got profit because the farmers would collect money from them to pay the taxes. No.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now let us see the impact of these land tax policies over India. Your answers are correct. Your points are correct. Yes, here in your textbook they have summarized the impact there. So first point is a new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. Okay, a new class was created in the society. They were none other than zamindars, and these zamindars exploited the farmers. Okay, then next one is farmers. Who they were suppressed, they were exploited, and they suffered the most, and finally they lost their ownership over the land and they became landless. So you can make this point short and you can even write the farmers became landless. Even if you write this much, that would be enough. Farmers became landless. Then third one is, see there children, land became a commodity. Okay, land became a commodity. Loans could be taken by mortgaging the lands. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚಿನ್ನವನ್ನು ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಯನ್ನು ಅಡವಾಗಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಗೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಣವನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ commodity. The farmers started to mortgage their land to take the loan to pay the land tax. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹಡ ಇಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಇದನ್ನ ಶೂರಿಟಿ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೂರಿಟಿ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಲೋನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಕಮಾಡಿಟಿ. Loans could be mortgaged, loans could be taken by mortgaging the lands. Then next one is, many times zamindars also had to mortgage their land to pay the tax. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಹಣವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ, ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಣ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಡ್ರಾಟ್ ಬಂದಿರೋದು, ಸಿವಿಯರ್ ಫೆಮೈನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗೋ ಅಥವಾ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಮಳೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗೋ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಇರ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರುವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ತಿನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಅವಾಗ ಹೌ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ಪೇ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. So zamindars, to retain their ownership, what they had to do, they also many times mortgaged their lands to pay the tax to the East India Company. So this is the fourth point. Then fifth point is, agriculture was commercialized. So far the people who practiced agriculture, they used to grow the things needed for essential, means the essential things were grown by the farmers. Maybe paddy, maybe wheat, maybe cotton, like that, sugarcane. But here, after this, after the during the time of British East India Company, agriculture was commercialized. The farmers had to grow the crops which were needed by the industries in England. Okay, ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವಂತಹ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್. So indigo is a type of plant which gives blue color. Okay, blue color anna kodtittu indigo plant. So in England, textile industries were dominating at that time. So many textile industries had taken birth, and to color the clothing, textile industries needed indigo. That is why Indian farmers were forced to forced to grow this indigo. Artha aita? In this way, agriculture became commercialized. The farmers had to grow the crops which were needed by the industries in England. Then finally, the money lenders became strong. So money lenders, they used to give loans, no? Baddi onde alla, chakra baddi haktidru, compound interest irtittu. So that is why money lenders became what? They became rich. So many times the lands which were mortgaged by the marginal or small farmers, no? They could not take it back from the money lenders because they could not repay the loan taken by them. So this is how the land tax policy introduced by British East India Company, it was not at all good for the Indians. It made economically, means Indians remained economically backward, because economic backwardness was found in India because of this land tax policy introduced by the British East India Company. Okay, it was a hamper, it was an obstacle for the economic development of India. Okay, yes. So next topic is, yes. So today, next topic is what were the changes brought by the English in the field of education and what was its impact on Indians. So children, so far we have discussed about land tax policy. Which are the three types of land tax policy we have discussed? Nikhil Naik? Name the three types of land tax policy. Tell me the three types of land tax policies introduced by East India Company.
Permanent zamindari system,
Okay,
mahalwari system, royatwari system.
exactly. Permanent settlement of Zamindari system, Mahalwari system, Royatwari system. Correct answer. Then, next one is Neha V. Hegde. Neha V. Hegde. Shreya Bhatt. Shreya Bhatt, what is the difference between Royatwari system and permanent Zamindari system?
Permanent zamindari system was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in the year 1793.
Mari, you think about the features. ಅದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡಮ್ಮಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಿನಗೆ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್.
In permanent zamindari system, zamindars were the owner of the land.
Exactly.
In Royatwari system, farmers were the owner of the land.
So there were no middlemen in Royatwari system. There was direct link between East India Company and the farmers, whereas in permanent settlement system, zamindars acted as the middlemen. Hoda? Yes, that is right. Thank you, Shreya. Now, let us study something about the changes brought by the English East India Company in the education system in India. So, first of all, what? We had traditional Gurukula system of learning in India, no? So, that was hampered by the administration or invasion of different rulers, foreigners on India, right? So, during Delhi Sultan's time, some changes were brought. During the Mughal time, some changes were brought. So, many changes were brought in the traditional education system of India. But during this British time, what happened? Many Europeans came to India and they got settled down here, right? So, soldiers came here, officers came here. So, officers came here. And many Europeans came to India and they got settled down. Portuguese were there, French were there already. So here, the Europeans wanted to give European education to their children. In the beginning, they did not aim at introducing British education in India. They had to educate their children. So that is why the places where these Europeans lived, in those places, schools were opened for the children of these Europeans. In any way, it did not help the Indians because Indians could not join these English schools. They were meant only for the children of the British and the European children. It was meant for them. Then later what happened? When Lord Warren Hastings came to India, he decided to give modern education to Indians also. The main idea behind giving English education to Indians is to make Indians to ready at the clerical level. ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಲಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ನಿರ್ಧಾರವನ್ನ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟುಕ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಾರ್ನ್ ಹೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ decided to give modern education to Indians. Children, let us do one thing. Let us end the meeting here and we will rejoin with the same link. End the meeting and rejoin.